hear me okay? Maybe send me a little chat and make sure the sound's coming through okay. Awesome. All right, it's great to see everyone here. Hey, let me get started just by reminding you guys that neither Bill nor I are registered broker-dealers, which means that we don't give individualized trading advice or recommendations. And we do that more as a education purposes here. So you know trading has risk, and so we want you to take what we teach you and practice and paper trade it and get some experience on paper before ever moving into any real money positions. And neither Bill nor I have trading restrictions. All right. So let's get going here. I think sound's coming through good and clear, right? All right, so here we go. Let's move on over to our charts. I wanted to check out what is happening in the markets with you guys. And we'll just look at some things. This is a class Bill and I do every single Tuesday for free at noon Eastern time. And we'll hang out and we'll meet together and we'll look at things that might be moving in the markets. You see I've got the eSignal platform running right now, and this will give us the real-time view of what's happening in the markets. And you'll notice in the upper left-hand corner right here that I have the
For sure.
Right there, sorry, can you, okay, there we go. I think I hit the wrong, okay, cool, we're set. So what happens in the upper left-hand corner, you can see that I've got the chart of the S&P 500. And I think the reason, in fact, I would imagine a lot of you guys do the same thing. If you're looking at the S&P, it gives you a big view of what is happening in the markets. And so we can see, so far this morning, we've had a little bit of a bullish move on the index. And I like what's going on right now. If you can see where my crosshair is here in the upper left-hand corner, we've got the a little bit of a breakout on the S&P, maybe pushing to some new highs today. It's certainly coming up to the highs of the day from this morning here. So we've got a little bit of strength occurring so far. Now, one of the things that I like to do is also keep a list of some of my stocks that we might be interested in looking at. Let me switch over real quickly because I'll jump back and forth between two platforms. One is eSignal, and the other one is just a daily charting service. And with the daily charting service, what we're going to do, let me show you this. I've got some scans, and I'll run through my scans to find stocks that might be moving. Well, the main scan that I use during the day is called the Momentum Today. And if you'll notice this, on Momentum Today, fourth scan down, we've got Google moving and moving very nicely to the downside. In fact, as I back this up, this was our setup day where we had the retracement to a whole bunch of moving averages that we're holding as resistance here at the beginning of a breakdown. And we've got the follow-through breakdown here today on Google. So we're seeing a big bearish move on just on the daily chart. And some of you probably heard me say this before if you've been in our classes. I think a lot of probably the better trading signals are going to come if you're looking at both the daily and the intraday charts. So even if you're just trading real quickly, even if you're day trading, right, I think you'll have better success if you trade it along with the daily chart. So what I'll do is I'll look at that scan and we see Google may be moving, so I'll type it in here. And on the eSignal platform, what I've got is a 5-minute chart. And you can see we've got the 5-minute chart, lower middle. We've got to the right of this, if you can see where my mouse is, this is a daily real-time chart of Google. And in the upper right, a 15-minute chart. And then in the middle upper chart is just a 1-minute chart. It's really fast, just used for fine-tuning things. So let's take a look at Google for a second. I want to show you as I zoom in. Let's look at the entire trading action today. You can see that all that weakness on this stock came in first thing this morning as the stock was breaking down. And it pushed down to some new lows, coming down near that 535 area. And basically, when you jump over here to the right where my crosshair is sitting, you can see that it came down and tested the previous lows. So today you may be looking at this wondering why a stock like Google is bouncing. Well, this is why. Your answer comes from the daily chart here. And so now, knowing that the S&P is pushing higher, Google has already sold off, they hit a support, they're also starting to push higher. This makes this an opportunity for maybe some practice trading. So you can then take this and come in and practice trade buying some call options on Google. Look at it even, now this is where the 1 minute chart comes in. If you look above here, we can see the 1 minute chart. And on the 1 minute chart, we see Google pushing up on that first 1 minute candle, a big breakout of the Bollinger Band indicator, which can be a really great signal that we might be seeing some move, and there might be some time, or there might be an opportunity maybe to go in and do some short-term practice trading here on the call side of things. So now, if you look at this, what we've got is on the 1 minute, a little bit of a red candle forming. So what does that mean? Maybe, possibly, that we could use this pullback for possibly a bullish entry. There we go. Debbie saying Google is a day trade. What's going on is that we are seeing, I was going to say a possible rising three, but already, yeah, it still kind of is. That 1 minute chart is trying to push higher. So this candle pattern is a pattern that can be used for bullish entries, can't it? So it ends up being a really neat opportunity to come in and maybe catch a little bit of a bullish position on a stock like Google. Now we've got, let me show you another thing. On the left of Google, you'll also notice I have Apple sitting here. And the reason I have the Apple chart in the lower left-hand corner is Apple was moving into a squeeze play. So we've got a squeeze play going on. What that means is the Bollinger Bands are going sideways, and we're possibly seeing a little bit of a breakout. Now, just like Google, it started to push higher and is pulling back a little bit. So this could be a setup for maybe another bullish position for us. So anyway, I hope this kind of gives you the layout and how I like looking at my my setups and my windows. And we'll see that Google here in this lower window is still continuing to move. And on the 1 minute chart, where we're going to use that 1 minute chart for fine tuning, we see that breakout, that bullish breakout on the 1 minute chart. We had a 1 minute retracement, and it started pushing higher. So this is the follow through. The fact that it is trading with the S&P and the fact that Google is bouncing off of the support on the daily chart, that makes those entries more possible, and I think they tend to have often a higher likelihood of success. We know there's still risk, right, but there's a higher likelihood of success here. There's some other things that are moving as well, and you know what? This might be a good time to bring Bill in just for a minute, because Amazon has a similar pattern. They're just breaking out above the bands on the 5 minute chart. Their daily chart is already showing a little bit of strength, and what I'm talking about there in the lower right-hand corner, you see that Amazon has already been trading above its exponential moving averages. And when it is above the exponential averages, that tends to, does a couple of things. For one, those averages tend to act as support for these stocks. And two, we tend to see a little bit more, buying pressure. Now the difference with Amazon and Google is now we come up to the 1 minute. Upper middle chart, the 1 minute is where we are going to fine tune things a little bit. And Amazon on the 1 minute chart, it is pulling back, isn't it? So if we were going to buy call options right now as a paper trade on Amazon, it might be the time to wait just another minute or two. And what do you think we're going to wait for here? Any thoughts here? Yeah, we very likely are waiting to see if Amazon is going to retrace to this moving average. You see this blue line here on the 1 minute chart? That moving average has been support throughout the morning. So it means it's more likely to be support again. So if Amazon will come down a little bit lower to that average, we could actually go in, if you're an option trader, and you could buy call options for a little bit less money maybe. So we're getting a bigger fill on our trade then. So that's one thing that we might want to look for on a stock like Amazon. The 1 minute chart says it's pulling back. Let's give it a minute to pull back, see if the stock still remains bullish, and if so, maybe possibly get a better fill on our calls. And so that, to me, this is how the charts using eSignal will help you, because if you've got this eSignal, the data is spectacular. So it gives you this real clear look of the chart, real clean, accurate data, and it's really, really solid. Oh, you know what? Debbie had mentioned another thing. Thank you, Debbie. She said on the daily chart, can you guys see this right here? Let me zoom in to the daily chart. She said it also looks a little bit like a rising 3 pattern, doesn't it? So those of you who are unfamiliar with the rising 3 or just maybe starting to get familiar with it, it really starts almost on this big candle over here on the 8th of April, where we had this big breakout, bullish candle. It went up one more day, but then we had the last 2 days were retracements and pullbacks. One thing you need to remember, just because the stock is pulling back does not mean the move is over. That pullback is a time to I think, be used as a setup to continue to think bullishly. The stock is still above the exponential moving averages on the daily chart, so we still have bullish timing there, and we had the breakout and the completion of the rising 3 when the stock pushed up above these previous highs. All right, so in fact, look at Amazon on the 1 minute. It's already bouncing. So this is the place where you go in and you can pull the trigger on a practice trade on Amazon. And I'll add one other quick caution, that this is the time of day that we also know that the markets sometimes slow down. So when you're trading right here around the middle of the day, if you're doing a trade this time, I'll give you my suggestion and just an idea, and I want you to go in and test it and practice this. But if you get in the middle of the day like this, I think it makes sense to do a trade if you really like the daily chart, because there may be the time where you'll get in here and the stock will continue to go sideways. Like even Amazon did it. That last 1 minute candle right here pushed higher. Now it's pulling back a little bit. It's okay to hold on through a sideways move if you're bullish in this stock or you have options that are bullish. It's okay as long as in options if you have time, right? So what we want to do is we want to factor in that in the middle of the day, sometimes stocks go slow and sideways. So if we like the daily chart and we're okay holding on through this sideways action, this is still a tradable entry. And now with this pullback, we can get in closer to the moving averages. The difference is on your stops need to be just a little bit further away because you have to factor in maybe the possibility of sideways movement here in the middle of the day. So between Amazon and Google, I think they're both good, solid trades, and they both look solid on the daily chart. Amazon may be a little more bullish on the daily than Google. Google, because the daily chart over here is showing a bounce off of the lows, it's basically almost what we would term a retracement trade. It's not in an uptrending pattern on the daily chart yet, is it? But it is starting to move that way. So you get this shorter term. It's almost a day trade, right? It becomes a real short-term trade because of this setup. You know what I want to do? Bill's got a paper trading platform going that we could share and do some practice trading in. Would you guys like to see how that works? Because if you want, we'll keep all the trades together. And what I'll do, if you're good, we're ready, we'll let Bill jump in, and he could show you a little bit, and then we'll kind of pop back and forth. Is that good? You guys up for it? Let me know. I don't know. All right, perfect. Cool. Well, let me do this then. Here, Bill, let me pass this off to you for a minute. You could show some practice trades on the Google, the Amazon. And in the meantime, then I'll continue searching through the markets and see who else might be moving. I'll run through my scans, see if I find any stocks that are building some momentum or that might be even good setups for later on today. And I'm going to keep an eye on Apple, which is in a good setup pattern. And then I'll let you know, and I'll jump in and interrupt Bill if we see something that is moving, all right? So let's do this. I'll mute my microphone, and we'll pass over to Bill here just a second.
All right, guys, so awesome. I'm looking through the students here. We've got a ton of students joining us here today. This is an event that Markay and I do every Tuesday. As she said, it's a free event. We appreciate you guys coming in here. We got a huge number of people who are coming in, kind of watching what the market's doing. Hey, guys, how are you doing? Steve, how are you? SG says, thanks, Markay. Don't worry, she's coming back. She's going to watch what's going on in the market here. But as we're looking at the setup on Amazon here, guys, I wanted to go in and maybe set up a paper trade, something that we can manage, that we can watch through the day while we're hanging out with you guys here for a couple hours during the middle of the day. I like the breakout. We got a nice volume breakout, small volume on the retracements. Looking at the options, however, as I was going through the options, buying call options on Amazon is going to be pretty expensive today. Why would that be? Christine, Jose, appreciate you guys coming in. Steve, anybody know why buying call options on Amazon is going to be so expensive today? Anybody got any idea? Okay, so yeah, earnings, right? We've got some pretty significant implied volatilities, and for those of you who are in the lab, the morning lab that I do every morning, you know that we were looking at implied volatilities yesterday that were around the 40s. They've already climbed, spiking to the mid-50s, meaning that the market makers are already pricing these options up ahead of the earnings announcement. And you may hesitate to buy an option with such high implied volatility, except that these options are only going to go higher in implied volatility, right? So not too worried about the deflation. Chad, how are you? Starting to wonder if you fell off the face of the planet, brother. Where you been? We're missing you and Steve, right? John, you are correct. It's because of earnings, right? We got earnings coming up, so the volatilities are going to start spiking. But at the same time, I'm perfectly okay buying even a one strike out of the money option as an example, or going in the money, even though a good bit of that option is going to be time value. The 385 option going at 1475 by 1510. Yes, it's an expensive option, but it's only likely to get more expensive with regards to time value, because that time value is set by the market makers in implied volatility. So in other words, I'm not concerned about decreasing implied volatility. I know that as we move closer to the earnings announcement, that the time value will either increase or stay very similar. Now, I do need to be out of this option before the earnings announcement, obviously, and so we may be playing this as a short-term play, and I know that in addition, I am going to gain intrinsic value in this option's price as the price of the option goes higher. So a couple things that you might notice here, guys, we are operating off of the is that next week's? This is next week's option, right? This is Linda asking. So if I wanted to buy this week's options, I would just scroll over here. Now these options are going to be much more affordable, right? And why? Why is that? Okay, why is that? Denise says this week's options are cheaper. They are. Why are they so much cheaper? John says time decay. Because they expire this week. Exactly, Nicole. They expire this week before the earnings announcement, right? They expire this week before the earnings announcement. So if I wanted to buy this week's options, I can, and they're quite a bit less expensive. So if I look at this one right here, the Amazon 385s are going for 405 by 420. Stock is moving higher. I can see a very close correlation, guys. If you look, you can see this is actually a chart of the option that I'm looking at, right? The 385 call option looks very similar to the stock chart. Does everybody see the correlation between these two? When I see that correlation visually, I get excited because what it tells me is that the two are moving very close. They're almost in tandem. And what that means is that if the stock itself moves up $1, I'm likely to catch $1 of premium or near $1 premium increase in my option price. So, but I wanted to see and show you the difference between next week's options and this week's options, simply because of 1 week of time, but more importantly because of 1 week of time with an earnings announcement involved. Okay, so take a look at what we're seeing here. So here is, again, this was next week's options, okay, the 385 call option, $15.10. We got into those, okay, but if we scroll up a little bit and look at this week's options, you can tell because it says D17, day 17. For those of you that have the eSignal platform, we actually built out the option chain for you, and we built it with the description, okay? So if I put the description in there and remove the symbol, you'll see that the description actually goes in and tells you exactly which option you're looking at, right? So here's the 385 call option. And so you can see 385 call option for the 17th of April, right? If we scroll down, we'll see that those are the 24th of April, next week's. Okay. The earnings date, you could set it up to show, one of the things that, you guys have wanted to see in eSignal is the earnings dates, right? Future earnings dates. There you go. There it is right there. $4 spread on the 385s. Those are for the mini options, DX. Those are the minis. We don't even trade those. Those are ridiculous, right? I mean, the bid-ask spreads are ridiculous. It's only 10 shares per contract instead of 100, and the bid-ask spread. So go back and take a look here. Now I'm going to get everybody like, wait a minute, what'd you do? How did you get that earnings calendar up there? If you want, I'll show you how I got that up there. It's a 10-cent bid-ask spread right now at the 385 call, right? There's a 385. This one here, right, is the that's the weekly. How do I know? It's got that 7 right there. 7 days is what that's for. Okay, does that answer the question there? Yep, okay. All right, so guys, we're getting in there again. Here's the 385 call option. And again, we're just trading off of this move higher. It's just a slow creep. As Markay said, not a whole lot going on in the market right now. One of the things that I kind of like that eSignal has added to the new platform, for those of you that aren't aware, we have a brand new release of eSignal that we're working off of. This is a brand new release. This is version 12, and we've got some amazing additions to the version 12 that we've got here, some really cool things. Clem says he's having trouble hearing. All right, let me do this. Are you guys hearing me okay? Is everybody else hearing me? Now everybody says I'm good. Okay, so Clem, sometimes if you'll shut down some of the additional features or programs that you have running on your side, it'll clean up the sound a little bit for you. So guys, on the eSignal platform, one of the new features, and you'll find it right down here, those of you that have downloaded, if you have not downloaded version 12, I can show you how to do that. Yeah, and having the Greeks on Expiration Friday. Al says, I thought this was an instructive webinar on how to use the eSignal 12.1. All right, Al, that'd be the part that I'm going into right now. I mean, if you all don't want to learn how to trade with it, that's fine. I can show you the features and just bore you with the stuff, or we can actually use the platform to trade with, right? I'm a big fan of, Al, the best way to learn to do something is to what? Get out and do it, right? So, there's, and maybe I don't know, what do you guys think? You guys think the best way to learn something might be to actually get out there and do it? I'll show you some stuff. See, here's the problem. If I just get up here and I do stuff like this, and I go, hey, check this out. Isn't that cool, right? Oh, look at this over here. I can screen for stuff. Isn't that cool? How about over here? Look, my accounts are now showing in actual P&Ls. Okay, isn't that awesome? It doesn't really help you out much, does it? Right? I mean, I want to be able to teach you guys some stuff at the same time of, getting in there and showing you some stuff. Right? So how about if we do some of that too, right? We'll show you best way to learn to do something is to do it, right? Sally says, show me how to download it. And Leonard says, keep doing your thing. Show. Okay, so Al, we're going to go through and we're going to show you how to use it, not just what it is. So the first thing is, how do you download it? Those of you that are Better Trade students or that are becoming Better Trade students, the way that you do this is just to go to the bettertrades.com, click on your My Account, right? You're going to just click on your name, all right? It took me a while to find this. It's right there under your name. Who'd have thunk that, right? I mean, sometimes I'm a little slow on the uptake. Subscriptions, go to eSignal and download it right here. Right now, there's a 64-bit version, there's a 32-bit version, and then you'll restart your eSignal. Now, if you already downloaded the Better Trades Coaches templates, they're available for you there. They'll be in your new version. If you have not, go in and do it. And then there's, I want to talk about the brokerage special in a little bit. So it's just like you did the first time, Sally. No big deal. Just go into bettertrades.com, subscriptions, eSignal, and download, and then restart your eSignal, and you're going to have the ability to do some of the cool stuff that we've got going on in here. Some of the things that were added here, I'm really excited about. This little blue eSignal button down here in the lower right-hand corner, right? So let me use the highlighting tool here, right down here. Okay, you guys can see it right there. That is going to bring up this widget, if you will, and there's the eSignal blog. There's a market overview, so you can kind of see where the markets are. You can go in and click on different indices, right? See, so we follow the S&P. So right there it is. They've got some tips that'll help you out. There's a learning center. There's all kinds of stuff in here. You've got a ticker in here. There's some pretty cool stuff that allows us to go in and manage some things in ways that we've not been able to do. So just as an example here, with the option chain, a couple things have changed in the option chain. The charts, I think, they pop a little bit more. They're a little bit more visual for me, which is important. How many of you guys like this idea of a quote board? I know many of you, can you use it for Indian markets? You can. You can, Vishu, you can sign up and actually trade markets all over the world through eSignal, which I really like. If you're into that, I do a lot of trading on the forex market, so I was very glad to see some of the new forex trading capabilities that are involved in here. There's a long position in our paper trading account on the euro, and in fact, I should probably put in a stop there. Manage that with a stop. So Al says he likes the quote board. I'm kind of a big fan of the quote board myself, just because it kind of gives me a visual way to see what stocks are really moving today. And if you guys would like, maybe in a little bit I'll come in and I'll show you guys how to actually set some things like the quote board up, the screener, there's a brand new screener plus in here. But the thing I like about the quote board, guys, is I can very quickly see where we are seeing some potential breakouts and some potential breakdowns on some stocks visually. Without even having to look, I can just go over and see that GoPro is trading up near the highs of the day, right? So if I just click on a GoPro chart, I can see that we have reverse direction, and we're now starting to see a breakout above yesterday's closing price. That is a tradable event. Now, if I think that the stock is going to continue to move higher based on my analysis of the daily chart, and one of the things that I can do here is, guys, I can link my quote board to my daily chart so that my analysis is essentially seamless. So I can go in and I can look at GoPro's daily chart here, and I can see that GoPro is bouncing off the 5-moving average, the 50-moving average may be acting as potential resistance. I like the breakout, and we're breaking out above the previous day's closing price, so that gives me an opportunity once again to go in and set up a trade if I think the stock may go bullish. Jerry says, I don't have that little eSignal house on my page. So, Jerry, have you downloaded the new eSignal 12.0 version? If you've not downloaded it, it won't be on there yet. Okay, so if you go in and download that, you'll get that. So, yeah, trade what you see, not what you think. Exactly right, Bruce. So here's an alert right now we're getting on Amazon. So you guys heard that alert come across. When you see that happen, there's the breakout, guys. This is one of the things that I continually am telling those of you who follow us here at Better Trades, that you've got to be ahead of the turn, and there is nobody who is better at teaching you how to get ahead of that turn than Markay is. We started talking about this trade on Amazon not 5 minutes ago, not 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago. We start talking about Amazon, and we get this big volume breakout candlestick. Yeah, right up off of the upper Keltner band for those of you that are trading off of Markay's Keltner. So here's the thing. Guys, I'm telling you, I mean, we learn to do it by doing it, right? And so, bam, I mean, there it is. We're in this thing 15 minutes ago. We're already seeing the trade moving in our favor. And if we take a look at the option chain, go in and take a look at that 385 call option that we got into, we're already profitable on that position. You can see right now. And so one of the new functions in eSignal, guys, is that your P&Ls are now represented in a real dollar amount. You don't have to do the calculation before they were based on a per share basis, right? So now as option traders, big advantage to us. We can see that we're actually up a little bit on the position. And once again, the thing that gets me excited about this is the correlation between our option chart and the stock chart. Very difficult to tell the two apart, which tells me that we're trading at very near a one correlation or one delta between those two. Debbie says, why 2 of the 385 call options? The weekly mini option snuck in on us, right? Remember, there's an Apple and Amazon. They had those weekly options. Okay. Michael says, when do we sell Amazon? Okay, so at this point, we might want to go in there and manage that trade with some sort of a stop, right? Because if it goes against us, we would want to sell it. And if it goes far enough for us, at some point, we probably want to look at where would we get out of the trade. Now, let's do this. Let's look at Amazon in all 3 time frames, a 5-minute, 15-minute, and a daily chart. Okay, and I like to look at the daily chart and say, okay, you guys tell me where on this daily chart should we sell our call options on Amazon? How high is Amazon going to go this week or next week? DX, I am trading the front week, right? I did both, okay, for comparison purposes. I bought one. This one right here, the one that we're looking at, right, is the April 17th 385 call option. Okay, so let me check my calendar over here. April 17th, that'd be this week. Okay, so there you go. Marlena says sold previously at 3.9. So you're already out? Okay. So Johnny says, I don't know how to set a stop to limit downside risk after entry. A couple different ways we can do it, Johnny. We can do it right off of the option, right? The chart right here. Now, let's just say that I look at this and I say, you know what? We're trading very close correlation between the stock and the option. So I'm going to just set a sell order. I'm going to click on this button right here. It says sell. And when I move my cursor down here, right, let's say we're going to go off that 20 moving average. I click on it. And I want to make sure that it's for the whole position, so I click on change position, 10 contracts, click on sell. I now have a sell stop in there, right below the 20 moving average. And that, I mean, there's nothing complicated about that, is there? I just traded right off the chart. Debbie says that is way cool. Guys, I am telling you, this platform, if you're not currently trading with it, by the time we're done here today, you're going to want to. I haven't even started to get into things like the screener, how we set up our tech alerts page, the futures page for those of you that are interested in trading the futures, how we go in and do our research. Look at this, an earnings calendar built right in to the eSignal platform. Well, what about this? Anybody want to know what's going on with Amazon in the world of Twitter? Okay, these are tweets that are literally coming out right now from all over the Twitter sphere about Amazon. Right there, so you can literally go in and you can start seeing what other traders are talking about with Twitter. Let me show you one more thing, and then I'm going to turn it back over to Markay and see if she's got anything else that she's looking at. Check this out. This is brand new in the eSignal platform. Let's say that you decide, you know what, I like the Amazon chart. I think that Amazon might be starting to break out here, and I think that may be a place where I want to share this. I want to put it out there. Maybe you want to tweet about Amazon. Right here. I mean, I can just click on this button right here, and it's going to share right to Twitter. It's going to pull up Twitter. There it is, and check it out. There it is. And now I can authorize eSignal to go in there, and I can tweet about. Now I'm not gonna because I have some restrictions, right? Because I'm an educator. But if you guys wanted to, right, you could do that. You share it on Facebook. You can share it on StockTwits. SG says this is the way trading should have been back in 2009, right off the charts. Absolutely. Okay, it will not. Richard, your settings on the charts will be exactly the way that they are now. So if you do the update, I did this update. I'm not going to tell you when. It was fairly recent. Okay. Steve wants to know if today's session is going to be recorded. It is, Steve, because normally we don't record and archive our free sessions, but Markay and I are sharing so much valuable information with you guys, and we're such awesome educators that we decided to go ahead and archive this one for you guys. Mostly so we can go back and look at it and admire how truly awesome our teaching is. Richard says, awesome, I love eSignal. That was a joke. For those of you that don't know me, okay, that kind of stuff's going to go on all day. You may as well get used to it. So guys, I mean, being able to share these out on Facebook, all right, I mean, you just put a, there, it's go right there, look, bam, it's going to show up, eSignal, and so you could, right? I mean, I'm telling you guys, you want to share this stuff. For those of you that, are into the social media side of this, you can do exactly that. And thank you, Anita, I appreciate that. And so we are going to archive today's class. That's just a couple of examples, guys. So if you notice, those of you that have been with us, right, you notice that Markay's charts look very similar. A nice breakout here, possibly on Apple. How many of you guys would like to see how Markay's interpreting this potential breakout? She mentioned it earlier, and in fact, it did happen. Guys, I am telling you, there is nobody in the industry that is further ahead of the curve than Markay is on these charts. You guys want to see it? You guys want to have Markay come in and talk about this breakout on Apple and a little bit, and then if she sees something that might be worth doing, we'll jump in and do a trade on. I mean, we're already making money on Amazon. I'm liking this pullback as a place to actually add into it, but let's do this. Markay, you ready to go? Let me turn it over to Markay and bring her in and have her take a look at some stuff, and then if you guys would like, I can show you actually how to set up some of the new things that eSignal has so that you've got those pages set up for you. Would you guys like to do that? Love it. Denise was already in the Apple paper trade because Markay was talking about it. Love that. All right, so let's do that. Let's bring Markay in, and I'll just turn the controls over to Markay, and we'll bring her in, and I'll mute myself so that, and I'll go back and we'll talk about some other stuff here.
All right, very cool. Thanks, Bill. Yeah, so I hope you guys are seeing how fun some of this stuff is. Let me show you. Let me share my screen here. Hang on 2 seconds. There we go. All right, so we're back to eSignal. Okay, I've got to show you a couple of things. So we talked about Apple. We talked about the setup on Apple. It was all about a Bollinger Band squeeze play, and I hope you guys know a little bit about the Bollinger Band indicator because I think it is awesome. But it's a great setup, especially for this time of day. And I'll tell you, you get in the middle of the day, and we know, I mentioned earlier, the markets often tend to slow down, and it's a weird thing. We call it lunch hour, but if you know a trader or anybody who's ever worked on the floor, they laugh at that idea, right, Steve? They weren't going to lunch, hanging out, taking a break. They not going out every day for their 3 martini lunches. Oh, no, they are basically on the floor trading all day long. But volume slows down. So in fact, Bill and I know a couple guys that would sneak food on the floor. They would duck down under their desks and take like 5 minutes at most to scarf as much food as they could, and then one would watch because you're not supposed to have food on the floor, and then the other one would duck down and while the other brother stood guard and they would eat. And anyway, it was just it's not like these traders leave, but there is this slowing effect in the middle of the day, and it probably has a lot to do with the European markets closing and whatnot, but things do tend to slow down. So if you guys have seen how I like to trade, I like to use the charts to try to find momentum, where stocks are moving. Because if you're good at, and I'll also just put a little caveat out there, I love to trade directionally. So if you're going to trade directionally, meaning I want to make money on stocks going up or down, we need stocks going up or down, right? So that's a lot of what I like to look for, and I think there can be a lot of opportunity in stocks like that are moving. There are all sorts of non-directional strategies that you can bring into play as well. Bill's awesome at teaching those strategies, and he's got the directional and the non-directional. So there are all sorts of strategies you can bring into play. But one of the things you can do at this slow time of day is you wait for things to start to move. What I love about markets that are slow and boring, because they're out there, we see them at least once a day, and we see them sometimes where an entire day will be kind of a slow and boring day, right? If you've ever traded, you've seen it. So what I love about those markets is that things that are slow and sideways often break out and end up moving really big. John is bringing me to one of the stocks I want to show you. But the idea is this. Things are slow and sideways, then that precedes often a good directional move. And it's just a technical concept. The longer things are slow and sideways, the bigger, the better the breakouts tend to be. Just basic technical analysis 101, and it is true. So here's one thing I want to show you. I have my watch list of stocks that have been slow and sideways. I run through my scans. I find stocks that are looking good on the daily chart but have slowed down intraday. You see Apple. We looked at Apple before. They've broken out. They're starting to strengthen here. I want to show you, I've got a handful of other stocks, and in order to show you this, I'm going to show you what I have loaded on another eSignal page. So I come to the bottom. I think you can see where my mouse is. I have something. Right now I'm highlighted on the ML Research. This is what I call my Research tab. I'm looking at the daily and the 5-minute and the different intraday charts and the S&P. If I click right next to that, I have it's my 5-minute. I've got 6 5-minute charts here, and depending on the resolution of your screen, you can stack a whole bunch. I've got other screens that will have 12 to 18 5-minute charts on there, so I can just glance and see who is moving. On this screen, I have loaded stocks that I think may end up setting up. Now, this isn't it, right? I'll continue to go through my scans and see if there's anything else that might be setting up. But I've got several stocks that I think are decent trading ideas because, for one, they have been slow. So if you look in the lower left-hand corner, what do you see here? This is GoPro. GoPro this morning, you can see their entire trading day now. This morning, they broke down for the first 10 minutes. Since that point, they have been slowly rallying, and they are coming up, and they're kind of trading right around the highs of the day. But notice, you see the 2 blue lines there? And here, if it's more helpful to you, let me know what your preference is, but I can also maximize each individual chart like that, just to make sure you see it. But what is happening here is that GoPro has slowed down enough that the bands are starting to go sideways, right? Oh, DX just said, hey, Apple, hard to get excited about Apple. I just saw your questions. It doesn't move like it used to. You're so right on that, but I'm going to show you Apple again in a moment, but I'll tell you one thing. Apple is not what it used to be. But pre-split, Apple was awesome. And I'll tell you, I think even months or a year before they split, they weren't what they used to be. Years ago, I absolutely can tell you, hands down, years ago, I made more money on Apple every given year than any other stock since probably from probably 2000 to maybe a year or two ago. It's not that way anymore. But there's still a lot of momentum on Apple, and I'll tell you that actually I should go in and do the numbers. Anyway, but what I'll tell you for sure about Apple, it used to move a ton. Now it doesn't move as much, so you're right in that respect. It's not super easy to get really excited about the stock. However, if you are an options trader, let me switch from GoPro to Apple for a second, and you take the time to look at their options, it is awesome since the split. Before the split, when Apple was in their big run from, $300 up to $700, their spreads, if you're an option trader, the spreads got really, really wide. They were very expensive options. Now, they're super cheap options, and their spreads are teeny. So you could do, really honestly, on a percentage basis, you could probably do the same thing that you did before. Apple options used to be $5 to $10 easily, sometimes more than that for one option contract. Now you may pay $1 or $2. So, and the spreads are a fraction of what they used to be. So when you actually start looking at the numbers, you cannot buy the same number of contracts today as you could have a year ago or let's say 2-3 years ago, and make the same amount of money. True. But given the advantage of the small spread and how cheap the options are now, it's pretty darn spectacular, which is why I keep coming back to Apple. And by the way, Facebook as well. And that's it. John said, yeah, you could trade more. Absolutely. So let me show you Yeah, that's it. Yep, SG saying the same thing. Yep, pretty good trade with Apple. Yep, plenty of it just because of that. The 10 contracts, very affordable now, very tight spreads. You're right. Let me run back here because I had, we were looking at, hold on. Okay, here we go. Hang on, there's a lot to juggle with this platform. So we were looking at, there we go, GoPro. Thank you. All right, see, I'm totally get excited about Apple, what we can do, and I forget my GoPro pinch. So the deal with GoPro, thank you, DX, GoPro is pushing up to the previous highs, and what's going on with the bands, what I had just started saying here, was that, see the blue lines? Now, the two blue outside lines, those are our Bollinger Band indicators. I think most of you have been in classes with Bill and I, and you know this. Those are Bollinger Band indicators. They're pinching together. They're going sideways. Now, what happens to cause that is that the stock is slow and boring, which is awesome because we know if the stock is slow and boring, there may not be a lot to do now. You could go in and do a non-directional strategy if you want. There are plenty of opportunities out there, but they're smaller, kind of lower risk, lower reward. There's not a lot there in a lot of cases. So there's a time and a place to do those. But it's something like this, if you also recognize that it's slow and you also know that things that are slow and sideways often can break out and get a bigger momentum push, then we can get excited. So GoPro is in that same setup, and it's called the Bollinger Band squeeze play setup. The bands are sideways. We can wait and see if GoPro could push out above the upper band. So this is one that I'm watching. So let me take this and minimize that screen back because I've got GoPro on my list. Do you see another one? Check out Facebook. Very similar. Facebook sold off this morning. They've rallied. They've come back up. They're retesting their highs, and they are slowing down. Now they're retracing to a level that they're coming close to their moving average. Right? So they're right in that area. They're close to their moving average, and I'm waiting to see if they could break out of a squeeze play. So we'll check it out. Oh, yeah, there we go. You know what? I'm just catching up. SG was saying, yeah, BABA is another one. So talking about Apple and the opportunities with Apple with the cheap options and the low spreads. You know, I mean, think about this. Google, Priceline, Amazon, Netflix, those are big monster stocks, and they can give you big monster gains and also big monster risk, right? Their options are more expensive on all of those stocks, absolutely, and the spreads can be quite wide. And the thing with this spread, let's take a Priceline, for instance. Priceline is wonderful. It has a lot of momentum to it. You know, it's what, $1,100 and change, almost $1,200. Their option spreads can sometimes be 30, 40 cents, which is great. Sometimes they're 60 cents, sometimes they're $1 or more. There was a period of time where they were $2 to $4 all the time. So the spreads have come down, but it's harder. If you get in, let's say Priceline, who moves, it's not a big deal to see Priceline move $20 some days or sometimes more, right? So you take a Priceline, you've got a, let's say we trade it on a day that there is a 60-cent spread. You buy calls on Priceline, the trade goes in your favor, stock goes up, no problem. You could very likely overcome that 60-cent spread, no problem. However, the problem with the wide spread comes if the trade goes against you. And if it goes against you right away and you have to stop out, you take a big loss on something like Priceline. Now compare that to an Apple where the spreads may be 3, 4, 5 cents. Very minimal risk in that case. How about a Facebook? Facebook is also moving into a Bollinger Band pinch. Bands are coming together. The stock is slowing down. They haven't made a higher high yet, so we are not in an uptrend anymore at this point. They're slowing. We see it on the bands. We see it by the fact also that the last 2 5-minute candles on Facebook have traded below that blue, this moving average line right there. If you can see where my mouse is, it's running up here. Right there, that is a 10 exponential moving average. Facebook has dropped below that average. That is showing some weakness and that things are slowing down. Facebook has super narrow spreads as well on their options. Apple does. Facebook does. The fact that they're moving into a pinch may set up a breakout trade for us. In fact, depending on what the S&P is doing, depending on what volume does here, maybe even a bearish one. But Alibaba is another one that SG is pointing out. He likes that one as well because for those very reasons. Apple, Facebook, Baba, there are a handful of them out there that are awesome trading stocks, even investing stocks, just because you're not taking on gigantic amounts of risk. Now you see Netflix, upper middle. This is a higher risk stock in a lot of ways. They're much more expensive stock-wise if you're just a stock trader. Options, a lot more expensive as well. They are sort of starting to do a little bit of a pinch on the bands, not enough to call it a squeeze play yet. We want the bands to actually be moving horizontally. They're still pinching together. But what I'm noticing about this one is that it's rallied up to the moving average. And you see how I've got two moving averages here. This 20, the kind of orangey red line is a 20 simple moving average. That held as resistance. And this current candle, this is dropping below the 10 exponential. I like what's going on there. I see that everything else is still kind of consolidating on this sheet. Oh, Boeing, by the way, let me show you Boeing as well. This is a beautiful squeeze play setup on Boeing, another stock with narrow spreads and cheaper options, and surprisingly can make some pretty decent moves. So I see that Netflix, though, is starting to make a move when I look at this big main screen. So I'm going to jump over to my research page, and I'm going to plug Netflix in here. And the reason I do it here is because now, quick at a glance, I see upper left-hand corner what the S&P is doing. Markets are slowing down, still in an uptrend, though. I see the 1-minute chart. Netflix is still breaking down on the 1-minute chart, little bit of a bounce. The 15-minute chart, now we're bringing in a much different time frame. Okay, this is actually what I call a magic chart. If we have some time, maybe I can run through this a little bit. But that is also bearish right now. I'll zoom in and I'll show you right there. The average is holding as resistance on the 15-minute chart. How about the daily chart? Do you notice something that happened today about the daily chart of Netflix? Scroll down and look at my questions here. Anything? Yeah, that's it, Denise. Awesome. Gap up. Marlena, yes. So Jordan said as well, gap up, sell-off, very, very nice. Hit a previous resistance, hit a new high. This is a type of an exhaustion gap. And in fact, if you've gone through my DVDs or my classes, you will have heard me teach this as an exit pattern. Netflix has been super bullish. In fact, over here on the 8th of April, if you can see where my mouse is in the lower right-hand corner right here, Netflix gapped up above some pretty important moving averages. That was the beginning of a bullish run. Okay, that was trading around 429. Netflix ran from that point to this morning, it gapped up around 481. Would you have made some money if you participated in this bullish technical picture here? Pretty sure. Let's just even ballpark it saying 430 to about 480. Pretty sure that's $50. I'm terrible with numbers, but I'm pretty sure it's right around there. The easy round numbers I could do. But yeah, so we've had a $50 run in days. In days. And this is exactly why Netflix options are expensive. They carry great, they have great ability to make you money when you're on the right side of the trade, and you pay for that, right? So it's higher risk in a lot of ways because they're more expensive. So it's a great trade, tons of opportunity. I love it, but you just know, you have to know what you're trading. That gap up on the 8th of April was a bullish trading entry, and I'll show you that was it. And it's a lot of times you'll look at this and think, wow, Netflix has gone too far. I can't trade it. It's gone so far. And yet, you have to understand the technicals, and the technicals were telling us that that was the very beginning of the move. So it started to break out there. It had one retracement day, completed a rising 3, then it's up again, and today it gapped up, and you can see what Marlena was saying about the previous resistance. This morning, not only did it gap up and fail, but it gapped up near the resistance back from February. So we're starting to also see a little bit of a double top. Okay, so I'm going on and on about this just so you see why this was a bullish exit this morning and why it is a bearish entry here right now as I've been talking. So let me zoom out on my 5-minute chart, and here, I'll even maximize it for you. So you know what happened on the daily. We know that Netflix gaps up, and look at what happened. A little trick is to maybe try to use the first 5-minute candle. On the first 5-minute candle, Netflix gaps up. It couldn't make it to a new high, 5-minute candle closes as bearish, and the next candle, we see Netflix pushing lower, dropping down. It actually took it 2 more candles. Dropping down below the bottom of that first 5-minute candle is what I teach as a bullish exit, because that is your signal that Netflix was unable to continue the rally. So you would have had an exit if you already had calls for that almost $50 run. You would have had an exit, not at the very high. I'm never going to tell you, oh, you're going to be in at the bottom and out at the very high. No. But a real-world reasonable exit is this. By the time this morning rolled around, you could see that Netflix was struggling at these new highs. It was slowing down, and at the previous highs from February. The moment that it started dropping below the first 5-minute candle, the body itself, that is an exit. That would give you an exit on your, if you own calls or if you own stock long, that would give you an awesome exit to get out near the highs. Now what do we do? Because now Netflix has been selling off throughout the day, but overall pretty choppy, hasn't it been? It's little swings, but little choppy downward swings. So this last retracement up near the moving averages, guys, those are the things that you want to learn to pick up entries there. Because if you want to move into a bearish position, this retracement up near the 10 and the 20 exponential moving averages, that is a place that we can use to go in and buy some put options. And I come over to the daily chart just to see, does this trade even make sense? Me buying puts here, is that ridiculous? Well, you know what? There are some pieces here that make sense because we are struggling on this stock to move above February's highs. So there is a reason for a trade like this. All right, does that make sense? So we use the daily chart to start out, and then we use the intraday chart to fine tune. Now, another thing to bring into this. I know, hang on, because I know I've got a whole bunch of questions. So let me see if I can catch up to these questions. Somebody, if I miss your question, feel free to type it in or just copy it and send it back to me. For some reason, some of them are getting a little bit lost in this window, so it's not on purpose. I mean, unless it's Steve, and then I won't answer him on purpose. Okay, just kidding. I know Steve well, and Steve knows that we love him. Well, I do. All right, Steve's awesome. Sally, great. You got it? Things are good now? Jordan brings up the next thing that we need to think about that is going to come into play in everything we're trading right now. What is happening right about now in the markets? We are in a general season. We are in a general season called earnings season, right? You have all heard of this, have you not? Of course you have. So, does anybody know when Netflix announces earnings? Any idea? Let me give you a little clue. 4:15 after the close. That would be tomorrow. So with any trade, yeah, exactly, with any trade on Netflix, and we're talking trading now. I mean, investing can be a different thing, but with trading, does anybody want to get into short-term option trades on Netflix and hold over tomorrow night? You're probably not. And could this be one of the reasons that Netflix is slowing down near the previous high? Could it possibly be that we already see maybe some investors maybe just trying to scale out and take some money out of their investment here before earnings just in case? I mean, Netflix might blow them away and do spectacular. Or they might not. And if you have traded Netflix or watched them at all, you've seen Netflix go both up and down around earnings, big time. So that could be a part of what's coming into play, and that's okay. The technical clues are there for us to be able to capitalize off of, but for us as traders, we need to recognize that if we're doing anything short-term, we have today and tomorrow, which could set up a day trade for us, or just 1 or 2 day long trade. Basically, that's it. We do not have a lot of time, and that's okay. There's opportunity there. Eric's asking, how about a straddle? You can do things like straddles and strangles, and are you talking about over earnings? Because you could do that. And in fact, I used to do that years ago. If you go back to, probably in the 90s, I did that every single earnings season. straddles, strangles, whatnot. It worked really, really well. However, I would really encourage you to paper trade those strategies these days. Because I'll tell you, things are different now. What's happened is market makers are really inflating the price of the calls and the puts, and they often price in a gigantic gap in the stock either way. And so what happens is that the stock could gap up or down on earnings, and you may own calls and both. But by the time the stock reacts to earnings and gaps, there is so much inflation in the options before you buy them that by the time the stock gaps, they suck all that out, and you have an awfully difficult time making money. And I will tell you, we do see them nowadays where there are some that work, but honestly, it's pretty rare. I got to the point that I think I had, like I said, I had done these straddles, and I did strangles like clockwork over earnings season on stocks like IBM and other tech stocks in the 90s. Worked every single quarter until it stopped working, and it worked for years. And I had about 3 losing trades in a quarter and just said, okay, I'm done. 3 of those earnings strangles that just weren't working, and I stopped doing it, and the strategy has gotten worse and worse and worse. In fact, Bill, this will be a good thing for you guys to ask Bill about, because Bill's saying, if you talk to him, if you're in his lab in the morning, they're looking at things like that and checking out if it's worth doing the strangle. So Bill's saying they're already pricing in, if I'm not mistaken, and check with Bill, but he said it was something like a $45 move that the market makers are already pricing in. So that means you do that strangle or that straddle, Netflix has to move $45 before you're at break even, and then it's got to move even further before you're making money. So it's basically the deck is stacked against you. You could try it, and like I said, there are times where it will work. Sometimes it will work beautifully, and you'll kick yourself that you didn't do it. But there are a lot of times that it doesn't work, and more often than not, in these more current markets, it hasn't been working. So just know what you're getting into and practice it first. Do it on paper first, and then you'll see if it's working, it's going to keep working, right? And then you can do the strategy. But I'd hate for you to jump out and do the just put your money in there before you know. Yeah, because it's, like I said, it used to be great, not great. Yeah, Johnny says, been there, done that, and yeah, he did say it's about a $45 move on those options. So that'd be a fun one for Bill to talk about. GoPro breaking out. Let's check those guys out. Oh, there we go. John has got it to a T. Market maker price again, 44.70. Sheesh, in those options. That's crazy. Now here GoPro is. Let's take a moment, because GoPro is finally starting to push above the that upper band. And what's happening is right now they're trading at the high of the day. You can see them over to the right. This is what I want you to look at for a minute. Let's look at GoPro. Does the daily chart make sense? Does it make sense to look at trading something like this? What do you guys think? Would there be a reason to do anything here? Is it bullish or bearish on the daily chart? This is a stock that has been, it's been in a downtrend, and in fact, when the S&P has been a little bit more bullish more recently, through this kind of winter, early spring, GoPro has been more bearish. So I like that it was kind of moving opposite the markets, and I've been watching this to see if we're going to start trending higher. It is starting to show some signs of that, in that it's coming down to some exponential moving averages on the daily chart, and you see it coming down to the 10 and the 20 exponential moving averages, and it is trying to bounce here. So it's trying. So if it can bounce here, yeah. So it's kind of the very beginning of what might end up being more of a bullish bottoming out pattern, right? Yeah, Marlene is saying, yeah, it's been bearish, but it's starting to bounce, right? It's been in a bearish downtrend. It's starting to strengthen. Richard's bringing up, we've got some resistance coming up at the 50 moving average. That's true. And so we've got a little bit of resistance there, and we also have some support coming in at both the 10 and the 20 exponential moving averages. So it is sort of in a, I call that a moving average pinch. We're waiting for some kind of a breakout, but it is certainly showing signs of bullishness. That being the case, would it make sense, possibly, if we see that the S&P is rallying and we see a breakout on GoPro, to even do it as a short-term trade? The 5-minute chart is breaking out above the upper band. The 1-minute chart is showing confirmation. By the way, upper right-hand corner, the 15-minute chart is showing that as well. So that's what you're looking for. In fact, this might be a good one to see if Bill wants to come in and do this as a practice trade and show you some more about the platform. I'll do a quick glance over at my other page. And GoPro, out of all these, this is the one that's moving right now. So why don't we do this? Yeah, oh, one other thought. They don't have earnings until April 28th. So we have a little bit of time here for at least a swing trade, and it might be that they're starting to move into earnings a little bit. So here, let me see if Bill wants to come over, and we'll show you this trade and how to use a little bit more of the eSignal platform to work that in, all right? So hang on a moment. I'll bring Bill over.
All right, guys, so I'm reading through some of the comments here, and I'm thoroughly enjoying the back and forth that we got going on here. Markay is identifying a potential bullish breakout play, and there's some people in here who are saying that they would be happy to sell a one standard deviation call spread on that. So here's something that I'm going to share with you. I would never, based on my experience, take the other side of Markay's trade. I'm just saying. So we'll take a look and see what we've got going on here with regards to some of the. Let me do this real quick here, and we'll go in and we'll look at. So we've got a nice breakout here on GoPro. One of the things that I wanted to share with you guys is the we talked a little bit ago about the symbol grid, right? Having this quote board up where you can actually see visually where a stock is trading. And so you saw earlier Markay went over and she looked at her chart setup, and she had several charts and was able to see that of the charts she was looking at, GoPro was the one that was kind of at the highs of the day, right? The symbol grid with the quote board allows me to go in and actually find other stocks that may be trading at or near their high for the day. So of all of them, there's 3 that show up here. Now, Apache, we talked about this morning in the morning lab, and guys, we saw the breakout, pull back to a moving average, and continuing to trade higher. This flagged symbol grid would be something that I think some of you guys might be interested in, especially, yeah, I'm with you, Chad. If I'm selling anything, it'd be put options on that, right? Yeah, it is a similar symbol grid, or what they're calling is the quote board, right? And what this does is it allows me to go in and see almost like a thermometer, if you will, right, of where these stocks are. So you look at, Apple has been up a little bit, been down a little bit, and it's kind of trading right in the middle, right? And so this blue arrow, if you look right here, is kind of where, well, I'll show you what the blue arrow is here in just a minute. But if you look at Apache, I mean, Apache gapped up and just kept on going, right? So the blue arrow is actually previous day's closing price. So you can tell just at a snapshot, right, very quickly you can see, well, Green Mountain Coffee Roasters, they're getting beat up today. That might be one that's on my bearish list. Netflix, bam. How many of you guys would like to have that in there, right? Jerry, you can either contact tech support. So Jerry's asking, do I download the 32-bit or the 64-bit? If you don't know, typically it's the 32-bit, but you got to load the same one that you did the first time, right? So just give it a shot. You're not going to break anything, and if you do, tech support will help you out. How many of you guys would like to have this quote board on your screen, and then maybe if you'd like, have it kind of set up some of the same way that I do? Okay, a lot of you I know came in here to learn how to use some of the new stuff. This quote board is a new thing in eSignal. Okay, so if you guys would like to learn how to do that, I'm happy to share that with you. And if you don't want to, tough, I'm going to share it with you anyway. All right, so check that out. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Let's open up a brand new page. Okay, so we're just going to come down here on eSignal, click on a plus. It's going to give you a brand new page. And it's going to give you this new window page. You can get it from here, or if you would like to, you can go in and just click on new. Okay. And come down here, and you're just going to go down until you find a new, look at all the new stuff that's in here, new script editor, a new dashboard, which is really cool. the Forex trader, the futures board. Oh, there's the quote board right there. Okay, and so there it is. Now, when you bring it in, it's probably not going to have that symbol list. In fact, when you bring this in, it's going to have no symbols on it, right? So let me do this. Let's just go in and delete all of these. Okay, if you're wondering how quick I was able to do that quick, here's a little tip for you. I just hit the delete key. Okay, so yours is going to look like this. How many of you have pulled it up and it looks like this right here? Yeah, it was, but they improved it. Okay, so, and I'll tell you, being able to link it and do some of the things that we're going to do here. So you can add your symbols in here one at a time, right? So I could go in here and I could go, okay, well, I want to see the SPX, okay, and then I also want to see, I like the Russell. Oh, wait, I got to go back. I did those wrong, so I got to go back in and I got to do $SP. And now that would be one way to do it, right? It did not open a new page. You click on this plus down here, Ray. Click on this plus right here. And if it doesn't open a new page, don't worry about it, because what you can do is go right up here where it says new, right there, right? Quote board. Okay, now mine's going to keep coming up with a symbol list because I saved my symbol list. I'm going to show you guys how to do that. So again, just watch, check me out. Delete, 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 delete. They all went away. All right, that's what yours looks like. Okay, so there you go. So you double click and you can just manually go in and you can type in your ticker symbols if you want to, and you'll get this right here. The other way to do this is that you can load a already made symbol list, right? So if you've already built out a symbol list, you go to our daily chart, okay? So I've got a symbol list right here, okay? Now I can, there's a number of things that I can do with this. I can name this symbol list, right? I can save the symbol list. I've got a flagged symbol list that I have saved. So I can go in and I can save my symbol lists. And then once I've done that, I can go to my new page and I can load that in. New quote board. And I can just go right to it, and what I have saved is my flagged symbols, okay, symbols that I flagged. So I just load that in. I don't even have to type it in, right? How cool is that, to be able to just say, I just want to load in my normal overview index. Done. Now, guys, some of you may have the eSignal Premier or Premium. Some of you have the Premier Plus. Okay, those of you who are Better Trade students, Donna, are you a Better Trade student? If you're a Better Trade student, you've got the Premier Plus. Okay, and so it should load that in there for you, and you'll be able to load all the information there that you want to load in. Now, one of the things that I like to do is, let's see, quote board does not call up the symbol list, only the overview. So, Don, go right here, okay, open list. So that little gear right there, you can put in a new list. Watch, check it out. Woo! New list, check me out. It's like I know what I'm doing. It's scary, isn't it? And I just learned this stuff this morning. I'm kidding. I didn't learn it just this morning. I learned it last night. All right, so I'm going back to my flag symbols. So now I've got my flag symbol list up there. Okay. Now I also like to see this in the form of a chart, so I can make my trading decisions off of a chart. So what I'm going to do, Ray, again, I'm just going to go right up here to New, click on Chart. Bam, there's a chart. Okay. Now it's going to come up with a default setting. If you don't like that default setting, you can set it to whatever style template we download for you. For those of you who are eSignal Better Trade subscribers, you get all of the chart templates that we use as instructors. You get those located right here on your computer, right? I mean, they're right in your eSignal platform. If you're not currently a Better Trade student, you won't be able to get access to those, but we can show you how you can become a Better Trade student so that you can get access to those. And then you can set this up however you want. Let's set this up with a daily chart over here if that's what you're wanting to look at. So I can see, you know, looking at Amazon, we're kind of right around yesterday's closing price, right? Just a little bit above it, the blue arrow. We put in this big wick above, and we're up here, so we're kind of in the middle there. Now, if I look at Apache, the one that we were looking at, I can see that, wow, today has been a very bullish day. We're breaking out. We're trending above the 5 moving average. I like this setup. We talked about it this morning. A nice pullback yesterday to the 5. A breakout above those highs was an entry signal, and so we can get in. And so this is one of the newer things that's available there is that quote board, the way that we've got it sent. So John says, how'd you find the quote board again? All right, y'all check this out. Just click up here under New, and there's all kind of new stuff here. Check this out. Quote board, right there, right? How awesome is that? Now, so, you know, now you got that page set up. Robert says, I'm a Better Trade student. I don't have any of those pages and tabs you talk about, nor do I have the quote board feature. What should I do? All right, so for those of you who are Better Trade students and you already have eSignal, the way to do this is you go to the Better Trades homepage, click on your name, go to My Account, scroll down to Subscriptions, go to eSignal, and download the newest version of eSignal. Once you've done that, then you go in and you click on the Better Trades Coaches Templates. Okay? If you're getting an error message or there's a problem with your computer because you're trying to download the 32 and you got a 64-bit computer or you download a 64-bit before, and just give us a call. Not only that, look, check this out. Right here, right there. Check it out. There it is. Boom! Right there for you is the live support chat. You don't even have to call us. Jose, just click on it. Right there, live support chat is going to come up, and they're going to chat with you and get you taken care of. Okay? Sally says, I just did it. It worked. Okay? Once you've got all that, now for those of you that are not eSignal students yet, I don't know what y'all are waiting for. You're waiting for me to give you the offer I'm going to give you here at the end of this class. Guys, this trading platform, it is literally taking, I'm going to show you, I'm going to go through some stuff here with you. One, the quote board. I love having the quote board up there. All right? Now, there's another one up here, a couple of them that I want to show you guys. Check out this screener. Right now, I have this set up, and I have set this page up, and I can walk you guys through it. And let me show it to you first. You decide if you like it. So right now, on the market screener, I'm screening for stocks that are at 52-week highs. Okay, so I'm just going down the list here, and I'm looking over here at the daily chart. Wow, look at that. Man. These guys have just been ADX. I ain't saying, I'm just saying. Stock has moved from $15 to $22. It's at a 52-week high. So this is just one screener that I'm using. I don't like that. 52-week move. Okay, so here's one, kind of long wicks. Here's a problem with it. Right? 51,000 shares? Are you kidding me? Apple does that in one 5-minute candlestick. Not excited about 51,000 shares, so I sure would like to be able to filter through this list because I'm seeing some stocks on here that, another one. I mean, man, I think that one right there is about $50. We're trading at 63 now, all right? I'm seeing some BAM, all right? So there's BAM, whatever that is, like that, like the ticker symbol on it at least. Geez, some of these are looking... The one problem is that some of these are really light volume. Wouldn't it be nice if we could actually filter for 52-week high and volume? No? You guys aren't excited about that? All right, well, I don't care because I'm going to show you how to do it anyway. Okay, so I'm going to go in here in the Market Screener Plus, which is brand new. All right, this is brand new. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to filter it off of volume. I'm going to add that criteria. And let's see here. I want a volume greater than, you know, I want to see at least 500,000 shares. and I'd like to see that 500,000 shares of volume greater than 500,000 shares. Let's apply that. Okay, and then let's scan it again, and let's see what we come up with. Oh, now that's better. Now we're down to 25. Okay, so now I'm scanning a manageable number. So let's return this to the page that I got, and so now I can see that ADXS, which I really like, but has moved a lot. So I'll be watching this one going forward. Boy, that one moved a bunch, but too much, right? So I'm just going to move on. So now I've got some stocks that I'm looking at, and that I can see for got some big volume, and I've got some big volume spikes. So I'm actually Goldman Sachs. Anybody ever heard of them? That might be showing up. So there's one way for us to do that. There's some other really cool stuff in here that that I can filter for. For example, how many of you guys trade off of just the candlesticks, right? What if we could trade a bearish Harami, and we did it off of a volume cross scan, right? And we wanted to do it on the Amex, the NASDAQ, and the New York Stock Exchange. And we wanted, again, that same 500,000 shares of volume. Now, there's actually a way, and I don't have time to go through all the details with you guys, but there's actually a way to go in and scan that volume back for X number of days, right? So there's only 4 stocks that come up on this. So now I can look at Dust, which is the gold stock, a little Harami pattern there, Harami pattern developing on H-band, Hewlett-Packard, and Key. Okay. Oh, I put in 5 million. That's why there's only 5 stocks. Okay, I set it for 5 million. So now I'm only looking at the stocks that have really big volume. So I can go back in. So some of you guys are like, a lap ahead of me. You're like, you won too many zeros there, Corcoran. You and math, right? All right. So now we'll go in and we'll scan it. There we go. So now there's 34. Okay. So guys, again, here's what I'm going to tell you. These are a way for you to kind of narrow down some of now. It's a great little tool and allows you to at least look at a smaller universe of stocks, and you're looking at just bearish Haramis with over 500,000 shares of volume, right? That's an interesting pattern right there. So let's see. Do I save the quote board, Bruce says, and the screeners as individual pages? Jim says, looks like you got eSignal to work with you. How can I change my eSignal subscription to a Better Trades eSignal subscription? All right, so let me go into a little bit of the offer, and then I'm going to show you a couple other things here. Jim, if you currently have an eSignal subscription, you're going to want to have the eSignal Better Trades version, and here's why. You guys saw that Markay had some setups on her pages, right down here. She had some pages down there. And I have her page. I trade off of a lot of the same things that Markay does, including, for example, the charts themselves. One of the things that we download for you guys is our style templates. So you can see there's a whole slew of style templates, and they include things like my intraday, just a candlestick, price and volume, a Forex that I use, an index A, Markay's magic chart, my magical chart, Markay's daily chart, Markay's intraday chart, my intraday, Markay's trend. So all of those get downloaded as well. You're going to want to have the Better Trades eSignal version. Okay? Jim says I do want it. So here's what we need to do. Jim, I need to make you a Better Trades student, okay, if you're not already. If you are a Better Trades student, all you've got to do is give us a call. And what we do is we convert your subscription, current subscription with eSignal, to the Better Trades version of the Premier Plus, which is the one that gives you the options and everything else and gives you access to our charts, to our option chains, to everything. Okay, so what I want you to do, Jim, is to give us a call, 800-676-4410, talk to our tech support people, and they'll get you taken care of. Okay? All right. Tom says, I've been holding off signing up with eSignal. What is the cost? All right, so Some of y'all are like, and so Tom says, okay, start without Tom, so late, Tom. So that's how he signed in, okay? So give us a call, Jim. Anywhere on contingent orders, I got a meeting with him tomorrow on that, okay? So Jose, a couple things here, and some of you guys are like, well, just tell me what the costs are. We're going to get that to you. Is there a trial version so we can see if it's really for us, SG said. Y'all are like leading me into my close here. You're killing me, all right? I still haven't even showed you all the cool stuff. Look at this big blow-off move right here on Netflix. Those of you that follow Markay know exactly what's going on there and know exactly how to manage that. SG, short answer, yes. Long answer, I'll tell you in a minute, okay? I'll tell you exactly how it works. Yes, there is a trial period for you, okay? So gotta love that. Let me show you some other cool stuff, though. I mean, are you guys? How many guys like the idea of just having a screener in here to cut down on some of the noise? Is that okay? You liking that? All right, love that. Okay, the account actually shows you in your positions what your P&L actually is, right? So you don't have to do the math anymore. Go in and look at the screener, the Tech Alerts page. Loving the Tech Alerts page here, guys. This is how we're actually able to build alerts off of technical indicators like moving averages and Bollinger Bands. Not only that, in the new version of, and I don't know if Jeff is in here or not, in the new version of eSignal, I can go in and I can set up a support or resistance line. Okay, so let's just say that there's a support line down here. So I want to draw in a support line, so I'm going to pick out my drawing tools, and I'm just going to click on it. Bam, there's a support line. All right, now I've got a support line. I can now actually go in and set an alert off of those support lines, okay? So things that I have not been able to do before that I can now do to be able to set alerts off of. You guys know we've been able to set the alerts off the charts all along. I can just right-click anywhere on the chart and set an alert. Right, so kind of cool there. But let me show you some things here for those of you that are trading futures. There's a new tool in here called the Futures Board. Okay, Futures Board. That's it right there. Okay, and let me blow it up so you can see all of it. So if you're trading futures, okay, and I've got some in here. I can't remember what all of them were. I called Rob this morning. I'm like, hey, I got the E-minis, all right? And I think I figured out the NASDAQ minis, but I can't figure out the rest of them. So Rob helped set me up with the futures board here. And so, some of you might be saying, well, yeah, I want to have be able to follow what Rob's doing and practice some futures trading here, right? So if you want to do something like that, Rob's got some awesome stuff going on with the futures. Maybe you're already a futures trader and you're saying, okay, I want to do some future stuff. Okay, so let's close these out, and I'll show you how I'm setting up the futures board. So let's review. If we want something new in our new page, how do we go about getting something new? Yeah, I think it's the euro dollar there, Chad. So we go over to new, okay, and we just start going down the list. All right, market depth. Some news, some research pages. There's that Market Screener Plus right there. So if you want to set up a Market Screener Plus like I had, it's right in there. Okay, script editor, alert ticker. The alert ticker is kind of cool. You can have your alerts going across the top, right? Okay, I saw something shiny there. I apologize. I'll get right back to what I was. Futures board. There it is right there. So I pull it up. Bam, there's a futures board. Now, I've already got oh, look, there's no futures for my symbol list, right? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into futures here. I'm going to save this list as my futures list. So check out what I'm doing here, okay? I'm saving this particular list because if I don't, I'll forget, and that won't go well, right? And so next time I try to open something up, I'll be like, well, where'd it go? And guys, I understand. Believe me, I get that. We're covering a lot here very quickly. You'll have the archive. You'll be able to use the archive. And if you got questions, come into our live classes. We'll help you out with it. We are here to help you guys make the eSignal platform successful for you. So look at that. I just literally, right, I had this up there, and it's like, it's not a future. What's the matter with you, knucklehead? put in a future symbol. These aren't working. So I just went in and I built out my futures list, and bam, there it is. Now I've got futures. So check that out. There it is, okay? Now, well, yeah, that's great, but I can't see it in the chart. I trade off the chart. I'm a technical trader, Bill. You ain't helping me out. I need a chart. Boom, there's a chart, right? What I do, I click on New Chart. Now, I'm going to trade the E-minis here, which means that I want to use the template that most of, a lot of traders are using here, and that's the Index 8. I'm just trading right off of the 8. Okay, now there are other ways that I could do this, but that's on Amazon. I don't want it on Amazon. Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to link the chart to my futures board. So now, when I click on the M5, which is the current contract, I now am looking at the futures contract on the E-mini for the S&P. Okay, now, well, yeah, but I want to trade it, Bill. Okay, well, I just pull up my trade panel here, and I can arrange this however I want it to set up. So now I can see we're breaking down below the 8 moving average. I'm going to short the E-mini future contract right here. I'm going to short one contract, and then I'm going to put my buy stop up above the recent high, and I'm going to capture my profit after we break down to this previous level of support. I now have a futures trade on. No, I mean, right there in front of you. I mean, that just how good I am. Okay, relax. That was a joke. But literally, I mean, being able to, not just to set it up, but to be able to execute the trade, bam, there it is right there in front of your face. Okay? Al says, so what is the ZE, the ZJ, the EED? So let's go back over to the one that I've got set up, because I've got one set up with my 5 minutes to execute my trades, and then I also have my daily chart because we look at all of them. Okay? ZE is the Euro minis. Okay, this is the Euro mini future. So if you don't want to trade Forex, but you do want to trade Forex, right? You don't want to trade Forex per se, but you want to trade on the Forex futures. There it is, the E-mini right there on the Euro. Bam! I mean, check it out. The YM. What's the YM? That would be the Dow Jones. Okay, guys, I'm telling you, the stuff that's in here, beyond cool. Check this out. My research page. Okay, I've got a page set up just for research. Well, somebody mentioned earlier, I can't remember who she was, Netflix may not be one you want to trade ahead of earnings, and she's right. Well, how you going to know? Well, guys, check it out right here under the partner links. Okay, where am I going to come up with partner links? Let's see. Oh, there it is right there. Under partner links, there's an earnings calendar, and there's Netflix right there on the earnings calendar for April 15th. Those of you have been like, well, eSignal doesn't have an earnings calendar. Well, you know what? It does now. Boom! So, Caribbean Jeff. Jeff is in the Caribbean. That's why I haven't been hearing about you. All right, I got you. So now you got the earnings, and I also want to have my StockTwits feed pulled up here so that I can see what's going on Twitter with my stocks that I'm looking at. So I now have a research page that has this stuff, and oh, check this out. Okay, maybe I just want to see company filings. Yeah, I'm just interested. Check it out right there. I can literally link right to the SEC page, and I can see who is, what's going on, what filings Apple has done as an example. Let's see, they're getting ready with Netflix, so let's go look at Netflix. Here's the company filings on Netflix right on the SEC page, okay? And if I want to see who's buying and selling, those of you that trade off of insider information, here it is right here. I just click on Insider Transactions right off the SEC page. Here are the 7841s that they file to, I mean, insider trade. I'm just telling y'all, if you are not using the eSignal platform after what I'm showing you here, I got nothing for you, okay? Now, those of you that are saying, well, okay. Kathy says, I keep fading out. Is it because of my enthusiasm? Maybe you do want to trade Forex, right? Markay and I taught an awesome class on Forex, and let me show you how awesome it was. We taught this class, three-part class, three stages, beginning, intermediate, and advanced, In our last advanced class, we went in and we shorted the euro in that class in a paper trade. Understand paper trade because we're teaching. We shorted the euro at 140. Okay, just got stopped out of that position a few days ago when the euro broke above the 20 moving average right here. Yeah, isn't that cool? Okay, how do you customize this bar up here? Is that what you're talking about, Connie? Burgess says no fading here. Okay, so there's a couple different ways that you can do it. One, just go with what they got going on, right? Now, I got a couple things in here that you may not have because I am going to start teaching some stuff here that's a little bit more advanced. Check this out, okay? Y'all remember when Markay was talking about how we want to look at charts in a daily time frame, in a 5-minute time frame, possibly a 15-minute time frame? You guys remember that? This is the Advanced Get platform. Now, this is an add-on to the eSignal. It scans the market for you, but check this out, Apache. Okay, we've been talking about Apache all day. I can see 515, the 60 bar, and the daily bar are all green. All right, now, there are times where I'm not the sharpest tack in the box. Even I can freaking figure this one out, all right? Now, I want you to check something out here because this goes beyond cool. When I click on the 5, right, I've got it linked. That's the 5-minute right there, okay? I click on a 15. This is the 15. Here's the 60-minute bar, and here's the daily chart. Now, I mean, I'm not saying, I'm just saying, right? Same chart, same 5 minutes, 15 minutes, daily chart, right off of the Advanced Get. Now, this is something that we're going to start teaching more of, is the Advanced Get. But, guys, even without the Advanced Get, the ability to do your research, to have the earnings calendar, to look for insider trading, to have a screener that goes in and actually screens the market based on the criteria that you want to use, to have the quote board to be able to give you a literally just a thumbnail sketch. I mean, look at GoPro right now, right? Markay was talking about GoPro half an hour ago. We're looking at it right here on the quote board. We can see it. We can see that nothing else really looking all that exciting. Maybe Caterpillar. You can go ahead and take a look at Caterpillar, right? So there you go. Being able to bring all this information in and then link it together so that these are actionable, tradable events that we're looking at, guys, to be able to have all of this together in one place, okay? Okay, Jose says on the earnings calendar, does it tell you if it's before market, after market? Well, let's go take a look. Look at that. Before, after market close. Before market open, after market. Wow. Y'all, when I'm telling you, you need to be trading with this platform, you need to be trading with this platform. One of the reasons that I want you guys trading with this platform is that this is the platform that we're using for our education, right? For those of you that were trading alongside with us, the Amazon breakout, then it broke down. You know where to set your stops. If we're doing a class, Markay's doing an intraday class here coming up in like a week, isn't it, Markay? So, yeah, Johnny, it's all green. I mean, I don't know how to make it more apparent, right? Everything green. Stops and entries, exits just right off the chart visually. Is that right? Can you show us again, please? That's awesome. Yeah, it's awesome, SG. I mean, SG was another one who was saying, hey, I'd like to get in on some of this, what you got going on. If we're looking at Apache and we decide, you know what, I'm liking the Apache chart. I like this for a pullback. I think that I might be interested in trading an option on this. I can go in and I can, next Monday is Markay's intraday class, guys. So if you're in class with Markay next Monday, and she's looking at the options, and she says, you know what, looks like a 68 call option might be a potential candidate on Apache for this week. You could jump in. Make sure we got open interest. Yeah, 750 open interest. So we're good. You jump in, you buy. So let's just say you want to buy right there on the chart, right? So you decide I'm going to buy on the chart. So you buy that. You set your order up right here. You're going to set it up above the ask. It's going to take you in at market. You're in the trade, okay? Or you decide, you know what, I'd like to just buy it at market. Cancel that first. No, I'll just buy it at market. You buy 10 contracts, you're in. Well, now I need to put in a stop. Where am I going to put in my stop? Well, you could pick your price. Right? I bought it for $2.09. If I want to pick a stop that's 30 cents away, that'd be what, $1.80. So I put in a sell right off the chart at $1.80. I now have a stop in there at $1.80. Okay, there's my sell. Got it in. Okay, right off the chart. For those of you that are trading the value menu strategy that I teach, we can go in and we can set up a value menu, okay, where we would go in and we would say, you know what, let's just use our value menu money management strategy. Again, one of the reasons for you to have this platform is to be able to trade the same things the same ways that we teach to trade it. I now have a value menu trade set up right on the chart. No grids, just click and point. SG, I don't know what you're waiting for. Oh, you're waiting for the price. All right, hang on a minute. It's the best part. It's how it sets up the trades. Guys, let me ask you this. Okay, so one of the advantages to doing what we do here is you guys having the ability to download our templates, our charts, our each one of these pages, and literally over the last couple of days I've been building out these pages. So the screener page, already got it built out, right? You guys can see that. Tech alerts page, I've added some tweaks into the tech alerts page. The futures page, okay? Now I've got my futures page set up. I'm going to guess that Rob probably has one too. The research page, okay? These are all brand new, okay? The Forex watch page. The advanced get page for those of you that have advanced get. Okay, I've added all of these pages in here. Now I hadn't really thought about it until just now, but if you guys would like me to, I can have Stephen come in and download all of these pages or upload all of these pages that I built out right to the Better Trades page that I just showed you right here. For those of you that are eSignal Better Trade subscribers, the coaches templates, I can have Stephen upload those so that you guys can download those that I've already built, so you don't have to go through the process of looking and doing it manually. All right, so if you're an eSignal subscriber, you're going to get those pages. That would be helpful, Jim says, okay? Steve says that would be great, and Peg says I'm begging for it. Connie says, yes, please. So, like I said, literally I'm building this thing. I'm like, you know what, maybe I just give it to everybody. That way you include it in the, so right now you've got the templates, you've got like this one, and then a couple of them that Markay has, and then Rob has some of them. But the ones that are brand new, right, because this is an eSignal 12 class, I may as well make them available to you. For Forex and futures, obviously there would be an additional data feed, right? So you would have a data feed with that. And advanced get, what I'm going to tell you is hold on, I'm going to be teaching some advanced get classes. Guys, look, check it out. I mean, even on the futures, we can build out some stuff on Forex. It's just, hold off a little bit on advanced get, okay, because that's coming down. But John says, I have version 11. I'm downloading 12 right now. And Johnny says, you should give it to us because we're awesome students. Okay? All right, so now let me take a minute of your time here because SG and several others are going through and they're like, Bill, you're killing me here. All right? What's the deal on the platform, on the fees, and so forth? So here's the deal, guys. If you're a serious trader, you need serious tools, okay? You need to get involved with the eSignal platform. There's no question. This is the platform that we are using. This is the platform that we're using for our trade setups, right? I mean, it's not the only thing that we're using, but this is what we're using right now, and we want you guys to get involved with it, okay? And allows you to trade Forex, futures, stocks, options, all from the same platform and be able to use that going forward. Okay, fastest flow of information. You heard Markay say it. Their data is phenomenal. Now, there are some of you who for years have been using the real-time markets platform, and you know that the eSignal platform, even though it's customizable, you can trade multiple asset classes, that the features in here, everything, and since we started out, right, you have the ability to scan, you can chart, you can trade right off the charts. We've shown you guys this stuff. And nevertheless, some of you have been holding out. You're waiting, right? I mean, there was the early adopters, and we've been just eternally grateful to some of you early adopters because you've really helped us to develop this. Some of your feedback was instrumental in developing the new rollout of version 12, but you can literally go in and you can scan, chart, and trade off the same platform. And so, let's see. So Tom, he says, that's me, waiting, right? Robert, we've got a plugin that is working right now with them as we speak, okay? And Jeff just confirmed that for me before he left me behind and went to the Caribbean. All right, so here was the deal. eSignal platform, put it into your trading tools, $21.95 for the annual subscription, which is actually $300 off of the eSignal version of the Premier Plus. So in other words, if you get Premier Plus from eSignal, $24.95 is the Premier Plus, and you don't get the templates. If you're a Better Trade student, you download eSignal, it's $21.95, and you get all of our templates. Now, the old version that we were using before, the old trading platform we were using before, we let you guys have that for $19.95, right? And so some people were like, well, this one costs a little bit more. Well, it's freaking better, but you guys were like, yeah, but it costs more, so I'm going to hold out a little bit. Here's what we're doing for the month of April. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a temporary deal. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Whether you are a brand new subscriber to eSignal, you sign up at this class. You say, you know what, just make me a Better Trades eSignal subscriber. I'm ready to pull the trigger on this. I'm ready to learn from you guys how to use this platform. I see what you're doing. You guys have added the stuff in there. It's continuing to evolve and improve. So I'd like to get started for the month of April, $19.95. We're rolling the price back. We're giving you the Ferrari for the price of the Toyota. Okay, $19.95. Now, some of you I know are like, wait a minute, I signed up at the $21.95. Well, guys, that's kind of how the deal works, but here's what I am going to do for you. If you want to extend your current subscription for another year, $19.95, okay, instead of $29.95. Now, that's for the month of April. After that, the price goes back up. So if you're going to do it now. Yes, Sally, we've got some things. In fact, I mean, literally, guys, this stuff is happening so fast, and things are happening so quickly. You got to jump on board now. $19.95. Now, hang on a minute. It's going to get better. How many of you guys would like to have that trial period? SG, you said you wanted a trial period, right? Then maybe that's what's holding you back. You're like, well, I ain't going to do it until I have a trial period. Okay, SG says, I want that trial period. All right, well, here's the deal. Sign up. 30 days, risk-free. Okay, so you sign up, try it out for 30 days. You decide after 30 days, you're like, you know what? I'm opposed to me having this much of an advantage over the market, and I could see where this could potentially mean the difference between me making a profit and potentially taking a loss. And I don't like the idea of having the ability to visually see things and trade off the chart because that gives me too much of an advantage. Well, if that's you, you just call us back after before the 30 days, and you don't get charged. Okay? So you want to try them out. So try it out. Right? I mean, if you're opposed to the advantages you're going to have and the discounted fee of $19.95, you just give us a call and you don't get billed for it. Okay? So there you go. And not only that, how about this? How many of you guys are thinking, Bill, this is great. I get it. I see it. But it's so much stuff. I need literally to have the ability to get tutoring every day, right? I want for 30 days, I want you guys to show me in detail how to use this every single day. How many of you would like to have the tutoring available at your fingertips? How about this? What if for the next 30 days, for $19.95, you sign up at $19.95, that's your price if you decide to continue with it. You got 30 days risk-free, and for 30 straight days you have access to the premier tutoring education product that we just rolled out for eSignal that gives you the ability to go in online and look at what is called the eVolver product. eVolver was produced by one of our techs, Michael Cook. It is over 3 hours of tutorial information that is done in step-by-step video format so you can follow along. You have 30 days of unlimited access to the digital version of eVolver for free. You guys understand that's a subscription product, but you're getting it for free for 30 days. Al says, what if you already have eSignal? Give us a call, Al. If you've got eSignal and you're wanting to change over to a Better Trades version of the eSignal product, give us a call. We'll get you taken care of. John says, do we get all that? So here's the deal. I know that John's already signed up. Here's what I'm going to tell you guys. For those of you that already have eSignal, if you want to do this thing, do the $19.95 for a subscription extension, right? So you're going to be able to, here's what I'm going to tell you. If it was me, I'd be like, you know what? I signed up 8 months ago, 7 months ago, 5 months ago. I want you to extend my subscription for a year for $19.95 because if I wait until my subscription's up, it's going to be $21.95 or more. And I would like to go ahead and get Michael's eVolver for 30 days for free. SG says a free trial and free eVolver too. Do I have that right? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Chris says, what if you have the advanced get? Chris, if you've already got advanced get, let me ask you this, Chris, just kind of as an aside there. Would you like some education, more education? I know eSignal does a great job, and they've got some partners that have been doing education on it, but we're going to be doing education on it as well. Would you like some? The advanced get, Connie, is an advanced scanning package, okay? Bahani says, can I get the monthly price for $19.95? No, $19.95 is the annual price, right? Now, we do have a monthly subscription rate for eSignal, and if you guys are like, I just want to go month to month, you can do that. But here's the deal. You're going to get $19.95 is the annual subscription rate. That's the discounted price. Normally it's $21.95, and then there's a monthly rate as well. Okay, Chris says, always need education. The reason I was asking Chris, go ahead and give us a call. We'll tell you about what we need to do to get you, if you're not already a Better Trades student, I'm going to get you the Better Trades First Step Recorded Edition, get you enrolled for that at a significantly reduced price. That makes you a Better Trades student and qualifies you to get the eSignal lower price, the $19.95. And if you already got advanced get, we'll work with you on that as well and get you some education on that. Okay. Sandra says, does the platform work for Canadians? Real-time markets did not. Yes, this one does. Okay, you can literally trade in markets all over the world. They've got data feeds from all over the world, Sandra. Caribbean Jeff says, cool stuff, Bill. Thanks. Going back to drinks with umbrellas. All right, Jeff, I'm done with you. You're dead to me. How long is this offer good for? Don, here's what I'm going to tell you. Don't wait for the end of April. All right, guys, you're here now, 30 days, pull the trigger, check it out, use the eSignal eVolver product, learn, and here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have Stephen come in right now and remote into my computer as soon as we're done, and you'll be able to download those templates right now today. Okay? Al says, what is the eVolver Digital? Al, this is an educational tool on eSignal unlike anything that is out there. We literally go in, and it is a on-demand version of tutorials that one of our techs, Michael Cook, built out, where you have separated by topic the tutorials that will allow you to master how to build the things that we're talking about, how to use the platform, how to hook the platform up. and to get it going. Now, Gilly says, what is the deal with brokers? So y'all are, whoo, you guys are just wearing me out. You guys want it all. All right, well, let me go in and let me show you what the deal is with the brokers. How many of you guys want to see the deal with the brokers? We have been working in close partnership with a couple of brokers here. One of the brokers is Tradier. The other is Trade Pro Futures. And what we've done is we've put together a little graphic here to help you understand how much you're going to be saving going with eSignal and the Tradier brokerage over what you were doing before. Okay, so Gilly, here's the deal. If you do one trade a week, one leg, one contract, okay, round trip, $10, okay? If you do 2 trades a week, round trip, $20, right? So you start looking at the savings going just 1 trade per week. Annually, you're saving $635. I like the 3 trades per week. That's about average. 3 trades in and out per week. You're saving $1,906.32 over the average of the other brokers that are out there and what they charge in commissions. They will not, SG. Those brokers do not. And here's what I'm going to tell you. One of those that you mentioned, Options Express, okay? What you're paying in commissions over at Options Express versus what you would be paying with eSignal and Tradier, if you did 3 trades, okay? Think of this. If you're trading with somebody like an Options Express right now, your savings using the setup I'm talking about with 3 trades at the end of the year in commissions alone is $1,906. In other words, you'd be able to get into the eSignal platform for like $90. Okay? Gilly says, what's the platform look like? Al, they do. I actually have an account with them as well, and they do work. So if that's something that you're interested in. All right, no, I can't do it. Hang on a minute. Stick with me. Okay, so check out, if you do 10 trades a week, guys, you're saving $6,300. They do not, Debbie. So Tradier does not charge for data because you're using the eSignal platform. So Gilly said, well, what's the platform look like? It pretty much looks like this, right? Because you're using the eSignal platform with the Tradier brokerage plugged in. All of the executions that you're doing off of eSignal are going through your Tradier brokerage. There is no platform fee, there's nothing else. They're charging you their commissions, and that's it. Okay, Richard says, I pay $7 plus 75 cents per contract with Ameritrade. That's crazy. So if you do one contract, you're paying $7.75. If you use the eSignal Tradier brokerage platform that we're talking about, right? If you use this platform right here, this whole setup that I just showed you, all right? TD Ameritrade, E-Trade, $9.99 plus 7. So you're actually a little bit below that. So $7 one contract, right? So that's $14 in and out. With Tradier, you're paying $10, right? What if you did 3 contracts? Well, now it's $7 plus $1.50, so $8.50. $8.50 and $8.50, right? You start looking at, yeah, it starts to, okay, so it starts to add up there. Is Tradier available in Canada? Helen, I believe that they are, okay? All right, let's see. Is that one contract? So here's the commission structure, guys. All right, you guys are asking some good questions, and I'm going to stay here as long as you guys want to ask them. The commission structure, so with Tradier, what happens is this. You go in, you buy 1 contract, you buy 2 contracts, 3 contracts, whatever it is. It's $5 in, $5 out for a single leg trade, right? or 35 cents per contract. So if I do 10 contracts, that would be $3.50, so that's less than the 5, so they're going to charge me 5, which is still significantly less than the $12.95 you're paying over at Options Express, is it not? Richard says your platform is better and easier to use. I agree. Give us a call. So for those of you who are ready to pull the trigger on this, what you need to do is give us a call. Yeah, I agree, SGS, because of the commissions. This is if a new sign up with the monthly auto bill, can we do the 30-day trial and Evolver? Mike, right now we've got it set up to be able to do the 30-day trial and the Evolver with the annual subscription. Okay? And here's the thing. If you don't like it, what have you lost, right? You learn how to use the platform. Guys, sign up. I mean, I don't know how else to put it, right? Pull the trigger. You get signed up. You get the best platform. You get the ability to scan and trade and chart and trade right off the charts, all on the same platform, $19.95. You get 30 days of eSignal risk-free. You do it. You don't like it, call us back. Here's the thing, though. I know what's going to happen, and I'll tell you guys just how savvy, right, I am. I know how this is going to work. You're going to get in. You're going to say, okay, I'm going to do $19.95 for an annual subscription. I'm going to get a 30-day risk-free because I'm just going to try it out for 30 days. Do you think it's an accident that I'm giving you 30 days of Evolver? Do you think no, it's not an accident. You're going to use the Evolver training tool. You're going to set up your eSignal platform exactly the way you want it, right? You're going to set it up exactly the way you want it. You're going to get in $19.95. You're going to buy eSignal. You're going to get 30-day risk-free. You're going to spend 30 days setting up eSignal, downloading all of the stuff that we're giving to you guys, and then you're going to go in and you're going to say, man, I got this thing set up. I got Bill's lab charts where I can see all 6 of them. I could change any one of these to one of Markay's intraday templates because I like what she taught in her Intraday with Markay class, and I'm going to use hers instead of Bill's, which is fine. You use those. They work. I like them. I use them too. Okay? You're going to go in there and you're going to say, I love the option chain, the way they got it set up, and I can see the option Greeks, and I can trade off those Greeks if that's what I want to do. I can check out the screener. I can go in and I can evaluate stocks based off of volume, and I can set up my quote board exactly the way I want it. And I've been dabbling around in these futures, and I know I can trade futures without incurring a pattern day trading violation. I can go do my research and see who's got earnings. I can pay attention to what stocks are being mentioned on Twitter. I can go through there and learn some more advanced things with things like the advanced get. If I want to trade Forex, I can do that too, and I got everything set up exactly the way that I want it. And you're going to get to the end of that 30 days, you're going to be like, man, it is so cool to be able to literally go in and enter a trade right off of the chart and not have to do anything with it, be able to set my stops right off of the chart for the entire position that I'm in, not have to worry about it, and I know it's a stop. I didn't have to think about it. I'm trading right on. You got everything set up for 30 days, and then you're going to go, oh, I don't want it. No, you're not. If you take the time to learn to do this, guys, and you use the tools that we're making available to you, you're going to be so hooked on this platform that you're going to be like, man, you guys just show me how to use it, and I am going to use it. Okay, SG says, what happens at the end of the year? $19.95 to continue the next year or cross that bridge later? No, here's the thing. $21.95 is the subscription price. $19.95 is the special price. I'm giving you guys that $19.95 special right here. Okay. Johnny says, the stops on the charts alone are saving me money. Jerry says, if I've got eSignal now, I need to call and extend my subscription to get the extra. Yes, Jerry, just give us a call. We'll get you taken care of. It won't take but a minute. All right? Yeah, Richard, stay after class, and I'll shoot that over to you. All right, let's see. SG says you got to know how to use it to understand the value. That's smart. Yeah, guys, we're going to give you access to all the information and education. And understand, guys, I mean, this isn't the only place we're providing the education, but that eVolver tool, very, very powerful tool, is going to show you how step by step, starting out with a blank page, right? How do I build out exactly what I want? How do I download my information? How do I get all my templates in place? And if you have questions, you can call us. Customer support, tech support, we're the front line to be able to do this. Thomas, we actually still do use it, but why don't you contact customer support and ask that question, and they'll send me a message, and I'll give you an answer. Yes, Burgess says if you extend your subscription, do you get the eVolver for 30 days? Yes, Burgess, you will. Anybody, guys, I don't care if you currently have the platform, if you don't have the platform, if you're currently a student, if you're not currently a student, get started with Better Trades eSignal version 1995, whether it's an extension to a current subscription or if you're subscribing as a new student, try it out for the 30 days and you get the 30 days of eVolver. I mean, you know, obviously, what am I doing there? I'm going to give you a taste of it. And some of you are going to be like, man, after 30 days, I just now starting to get to where I figured it out. I think I need to continue my subscription there. Do it. SG says, any brokerages you prefer? I'm liking the Tradier brokerage. We also have another broker, guys, that we are using now for futures and Forex called Trade Pro Futures. They are giving us special deals for our Better Trade students. Those of you that are trading futures with Rob and his new product, get in there. Is your cell phone number next? No. John says, how about 60 days for us slow learners? No. I will let you continue the subscription. No, it was not, Rick. Okay, so Rick says, when I signed up before with my real-time market subscription was over, I was told the price would be locked in. So, you know, if that was the price that you grandfathered in at, that's great. But of course, you don't have the eVolver product, right? Is eVolver available to current eSignal Better Trades without extending the subscription at this time? Yes, it is, Connie. If you want to buy just the eVolver product, give us a call and you can do that. There's a 3-month subscription price that's involved with that. John says, how do you spell Tradier? Okay. John, if you go to the Better Trades homepage and you click on the eSignal tab there, there's a link that takes you right to the Tradier, so you don't even have to spell it. It's Tradier, in case you're wanting to spell. Bob says, what if I have real-time markets and I wanted to get a credit for that? Bob, give us a call. Our tech support people, our customer support people are ready to take your call and get you converted over to eSignal and give you the appropriate credit for the real-time markets. Mike, they don't currently do the modified caller, and I am still working with trying to get, and your name has come up, so I am working with the other broker on that, and I'm sorry that they're not working with you on that, and I am, raising a little bit of a stink over there. John says, thanks, Bill, on vacation. See you in the morning. Is there a link on Better Trades for compatible eSignal brokers? Is that eSignal? Yeah, there is. SG, if you go to the Better Trades webpage, click on the eSignal information page, there's an entire list of brokers. I'll tell you the one that we have found the most compatibility with the current eSignal platform is Tradier, but there are others out there that are working with it as well. Okay? All right, guys, so we've gone like way over time here. Is there anything else that you guys would like to see in the eSignal platform? I mean, there's some new stuff in there, and I know that some of you have been kicking around. You might have some questions. Do you get a special price for the eVolver subscription for being here? Yeah, I'll tell you what. We'll give you guys the I may be talking way out of turn here. In which case, I'm going to get in trouble. Thank you, Jim, for getting me in trouble again. I appreciate it. We will do, there is a event price. Give us a call. Have them give you the event pricing. Our dates of entry on the account page. Thank you, Jim. Appreciate that. Beth, I don't believe that they are yet. Let's look. Let's you and I go over and just be our little secret, right? We'll go over here and we'll just check it out. Let me see if I can add a column that is the date. Not yet. Okay. Still working on that. Can we set up credit spreads? Yes. In fact, the multi-leg order entry tab, guys, they weren't able to push it out with the version 12, but I have a meeting with eSignal tomorrow on that. A couple different things that we're looking at on that. You can do a credit spread. You would just leg into it. I'm not a big fan of credit spreads except for on expiration day, but if you're into that kind of thing, we can certainly show you how to leg in off of the options chain. There is a way for you to build it out as a basket trade. A little bit more complex there. We are building right now as we speak the ability to do a contingent order, conditional orders, as well as multi-leg orders. Okay, so yeah, let's see. I missed on eSignal being able to place my stops based on the bid instead of the ask. So there's a couple different ways that we can do that. Does it work in a web browser, Alan says? No, this is a, because of the data coming in, so it's not a web browser. It's actually so you can see right there, it's an application on my page. All right, so it comes right in there. Bob, you can stay with whoever you want. And here's what I'm going to tell you. So Bob says, if the old platform matches commissions, can I stay with them? You stay with whoever you want. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Data-wise, you ain't going to find anything anywhere come close to what eSignal is doing data-wise. Okay? I mean, charts, the ability to link charts, right? You don't have that in that other platform. I know you don't. I still check. I go check. So here's what I'm going to tell you. If you want to keep driving the Toyota, keep driving it. Here's what I'm going to tell you. You get the freaking Ferrari for the price of the Toyota, and you're paying less in commissions. Think of it like this. You have the opportunity to drive the same Ferrari that I'm driving in class to show you how to drive it, and the gas costs less. Boom! Okay, Charles, how you do the tax records? I sent it all over to Anderson Law Group, and I have them do it. Okay. So, I mean, if you want to drive the Toyota, knock yourself out, drive the Toyota. I'm driving the Ferrari. I like it. All right, guys, it looks like that's, let's see, anything else is getting more confusing. Can we get 30-day evolver to test and then the event price for putting it clear? Michael, here's the deal. All right, I'm going to show it to you guys one more time. Sign up right now, today, $19.95, annual subscription, 30-day risk-free trial, and 30 days of evolver to show you how to use the platform. Boom. I just simplified it. Okay? Got it already. All right. Extend your subscription, and I'll give you evolver for 30 days for free. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Markay. I saw that. Yeah, guys, if you've got questions, because I'm getting ready to sign off because I'm digesting myself, if you know what I mean. I'm starving to death. Y'all are cutting into my lunch hour. I'm going to sign off in a minute, but if you got questions, give us a call, right? We're more than happy to take care of you guys, get you taken care of. And, again, the offer's out there. We want to see the subscriptions jump up here. We want to help you guys out with this. Guys, this subscription, this newest version, eSignal 12.1, is the biggest improvement, the biggest change that eSignal has made in their history. And we're here to teach you how to use it. If you want to drive the Toyota, keep driving the Toyota. But here's what I'm going to tell you. In this day and age, trading is a horse race, and you are not going to win it riding on the back of a donkey. Get yourself the biggest, baddest racehorse you can find, and then have somebody teach you how to ride it. That's what we're doing for you. We're putting it out there. It's an offer. We're not going to force you to take it. I'm not going to drag anybody kicking and screaming to their own success. But if you want to, we're here to teach it to you. All right. That's what we got for you, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Markay Latimer, myself, and the rest of the Better Trades family, we appreciate you guys coming in, spending some time with us. If you're not a current Better Trades student, we would love to have you on board so we can not only show you how to use the platform, but we can show you how we trade the markets, how we look at the markets, and give you an opportunity to do that. Until the next live event, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate each and every one of you spending time with us. We look forward to meeting you at the next live event. Until then, Godspeed, God bless, and we will give you, and we wish you guys all the success in the future. Richard, yeah, if you'll stay on for just a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you for your time. We appreciate it, and we'll see you guys at the next live event.